This is your startup for week number 12. Number 1 says use formulas to find the lateral area and surface area of the given prism. Show your answers to the nearest whole number. Now, first of all, since that is a prism, we need to have the right formula. The surface area for a prism equals the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. Now, we have discussed that this portion of the formula is lateral area. That's what the lateral area is. So when we plug that into our equation, before we add everything, we have lateral area. So we have 2 answers for number 1. Plug in what we know. First of all, we need to know what the length of this side of the triangle is. Well, notice that here is 12, so we can transpose that here. So the perimeter for the base will be 8 plus 9 plus 12. That's P. The height, or the distance between the 2 bases, is 20. And then we will finish this by adding twice the area of the base. I guess I just need to erase that out of the way. And the area of the base, this is a triangle. Remember, the formula for area of a triangle is little base times its little height divided by 2. So I'm going to say 9 times 8 divided by 2. Now when I add 8, 9, and 12 together, I get 29 times 20. I'm going to cross the 2's out because they cancel. So that's plus 72. Now, when I multiply 29 times 20, I get my lateral area. So 29 times 20 will give me my lateral area of 580. So we can say LA equals 500, not 20, I was fixing to say 20, my bad. 580, and we are square meters plus 72. So now when I add 72, I get 652, which gives me the surface area. So surface area equals 652 square meters, and my lateral area is 580 square meters. Number 2, it says find the volume of the cylinder in terms of pi. Now, a cylinder, the volume equals the area of the base times the height. So it's going to be pi r squared h, because we're talking about volume. The radius is 2.9. That's 2.9, not 29. So it's going to be pi times 2.9 squared times 11, which is the height. So plugging that into the calculator, we come with an answer of 92.51 pi cubic meters. As it says, find the volume of the cylinder in terms of pi, so we need to leave pi in our answer and not multiplying by 3.14. Going to number 3. It says find the lateral area of the square pyramid shown to the nearest whole number. The nearest whole number. Now, it's a square pyramid. That helps us out to know that this side is equal to this side, and this side. All 4 of those sides are going to be the same measure, so all 4 of them are 42. Now, when we're thinking of lateral area, okay, let's go back. What is surface area for a pyramid? Well, surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the slant height plus the area of the base. So, watch this. If we're looking for lateral area, Remember, this is just my lateral area. So lateral area equals perimeter times slant height. I left off a portion. We have to divide by 2 because it's a triangle. So I need to find the slant height before I can move on any further. So I'm going to have to use Pythagorean theorem here. We're told that the actual height is 38. Now remember, that goes down to the center, so the distance out to the edge is going to be half of 42, which is 21. So I have 21 squared plus 38 squared will equal my L squared. Now, using calculator, we have 21 squared is 441. 38 squared is 1444. So if I add those two together, we get 1885. Taking the square root, I get approximately 43.4 as my L. My slant height is 43.4 yards. So now I will use that as my slant height. So perimeter, now we've already said that all 4 of these sides are the same, so my perimeter is going to be 4 times 42. That's perimeter. My slant height is 43.2, and I have to divide that by 2. So 4 times 42 times 43.2 divided by 2 gives me a number of 3628.8. But yet my directions say round to the nearest whole number. So my lateral area is approximately 3,629 squared yards. Number 4. Let's get some room. The radius of the base of a cylinder is 23 meters, and its height is 43 meters. Find the surface area of the cylinder in terms of pi. We have to be able to read these in order to understand what we're talking about. Now, we're talking about a cylinder. So remember, a cylinder just represents like a can, soup can. We have a radius, right? So my radius equals 23 meters. My height equals 43. So if we have to, draw the picture. And we're finding surface area in terms of pi. Surface area for a cylinder is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Now I believe that we simplified that formula on your formula sheet, but that's essentially what it is. I think you have this as your formula, which is fine. Either way works. So plug in what we know. We know that the radius is 23. We know the height is 43. So we're going to add 43 and 23 together, which gives us 66. I will then multiply it 2 times 23 times 66. So that's 3036 pi, and our dimensions were meters, so it's squared meters. So that's how we find surface area for number 4, the cylinder. Number 5, the lateral area of a cone is 700 pi squared centimeters. Now remember, a cone, we can either draw it that way, or if we want to draw it this way, doesn't matter. We have radius and we have a slant height. That's the two things we need to concern ourselves with. Lateral area for a cone. Remember, if we're looking at surface area, always go back to my surface area values, is 2 pi RL divided by 2 plus pi r squared. And those two would cancel. So my lateral area is essentially pi r L. Pi r L. So lateral area equals pi r L. Now, we're told in our problem that the radius is 50 centimeters. Find the slant height. So plug in what we know. Lateral area is 700 pi. And pi times 50 L. Well, we can divide both sides by 50 pi. And when we divide by 50 pi's, the pi's of course cancel. So I have 700 divided by 50. So L equals 14. And we are centimeters. So that's how you find the slant height. 6. Let's look at number 6. Get rid of all this. Number 6. Concrete can be purchased by the cubic yard. How much will it cost to pour a slab 12 feet by 12 feet by 2 inches for a patio if the concrete costs $44 per cubic yard? Now, we have a couple of things going on in this problem. Notice that our dimensions are 12 feet by 12 feet by 2 inches, and everything is measured in cubic yards. So we need to be able to convert into cubic yards, understanding how many feet are in a yard and so forth. Now, we know there's 3 feet in a yard, and we know that there are 36 inches in a yard. So from the very beginning, we can go ahead and convert these. If I know that 3 feet equals 1 yard, then 1 yard, let me back up. I need to figure out how to convert 12 feet into yards. How many yards? That's what we need to figure out. If there's 12 feet, how many yards would that be? Well, if 3 feet are in a yard, 12 feet divided by 3 feet would equal 4 yards. Well, I don't know why I wrote that. 4 yards. So this is 4 yards by 4 yards. And then we have to convert the 2 inches into yards. Well, if we know that 2 inches, we're given that, and there's 36 inches in a yard, 2 divided by 36 gives me 1/18 of a yard. So that's our dimensions. 14 by 14 by 1/18. So since we've done all of our conversions, let's get rid of that. 4 by 4 by 1/18. Apologize. Thank you. Now let's plug in what we know. We are looking for a patio, a slab poured. Now, this is a prism. If we're looking at 12 by 12 by 2 inches, it's a rectangular prism. So we need to find volume for a rectangular prism. That's the area of the base times its height. And so if it's a 4 by 4 by 1/18, we will say 4 times 4 times 1/18. So 16 times 1/18 equals 16 over 18, which reduces to 8 knots, cubic yards. But have we answered the question? No. The question finally asked, how much will it cost? If 1 cubic yard equals $44, how much will this 8 knots yard cost? So we're going to say 44 times 8 knots. That gives us an amount of approximately 39.11 is how much it would cost to pour that slab of concrete. And that is our startup for week number 12.
I know